Dom, first game back, how'd you feel? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I felt good. The thing about my throat was I was able to keep on training and keep my training loads up. I just wasn't able to get contact there for the last month, so I feel like my fitness stayed up to a good level, and I felt good out there. I felt connected to the boys, so it was hard watching them sitting on the sidelines for a month, but it was good to be back out there finally.
What was the diagnosis, and what do you do to rehab something like that?
There's not much you can do apart from give it time and heal, I think the risk was if I went out and played again and copped another knock, then I'd need surgery and potentially, and that's obviously very dangerous. So it just needed those extra few weeks just to recover, and running out now there's always going to be an element of risk, but it feels really good, and I got the tick off from the surgeon to keep playing, which was nice.
And moving forward, it's all good now. You sound okay?
Yeah, I sound better than what I did before, so my voice was a bit husky there for a bit, but no, I feel good now.
Dom, the effort was there on Saturday against Richmond, let down by a small window, which Tigers took advantage of. What do you guys need to do to produce a four-quarter effort?
Yeah, look, I think we stayed quite connected for majority of the game, which was good, and once again it was just a little patch in the third quarter which let us down, and it wasn't we've got a lot of young players who are still learning, and it could be a concentration thing. We messed up a few structures and stuff like that, but it wasn't just the younger players, it was the leaders, including myself. I was part of the problem, and we just need to stick together, work on our deficiencies, and hopefully we can get 4 quarters this weekend on Friday night. How
deflating was the Jai Cully injury? Obviously he was looking pretty emotional at quarter time. What have the boys done to support him since he's, since the diagnosis?
Look, there's not much you can do apart from get around him, right? Like, you hate to see a young player doing ACL, and after the pre-season and getting the Rising Star nod, to go down a couple of weeks later and do an ACL, it's never nice. You never want to see one of your brothers go through something like this, but knowing the bloke that he is, and his mindset towards his rehab, he's going to have surgery I think next week, and he'll attack his rehab and he'll be back next year.
Given the injury crisis at the club at the moment, how hard has training been, just not having the numbers on the paddock to actually implement things? Has it been how different has it been this season compared to 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely harder with availability because in previous training sessions when we've got good numbers, we'll sort of do a bit of 18v18 sort of match play, but we haven't had the opportunity to do as much of that. And then coming into this week, it's a 6-day break, so there's only so much training you actually can do. So it's more about making sure that your mind's in the right spot and that you recover really well and get better.
As one of the more experienced boys out there, what can you do? What are you doing to, help steer the ship in the right direction?
In terms of a midfield group, it's sort of a lot of our off-ball running, which I'm trying to work on with the midfield group. I think our pre-clearance stuff has actually not been too bad the last few months, which has been nice. It's more of our running off the ball and stuff which is letting us down, and I think that showed in the third quarter on the weekend when Richmond midfield really got on top. But my role essentially is to try to guide those mids, and I guess the best way to lead is by performing well yourself.
What do you make of the backlash around Jack Darling's performance so far?
Well, he's obviously out of form, and he'll be the first one to put his hand up and say that, but he's played 250 games and kicked 500 odd goals for the footy club, so we expect him to bounce back. He understands he's out of form, and we'll get around him and do whatever we need to do to get him back playing good footy again.
With the fans venting their frustrations on social media, do you think it's fair or unfair?
We've got very passionate fans, right? Like a lot of other clubs, we're chasing wins and they're not coming at the moment. So, we don't read too much into the fans venting and stuff like that. All we know is we've got very passionate fans, and, I don't think, Jack won't be getting dropped. We back him into the hills. He's a very good player, and hopefully he can turn it around.
Did you see the video of Matt Rowell eating grass? And have you ever seen such a strange threat?
I did see it, but whatever works for him. I couldn't see myself personally eating grass. The only time I eat grass is when I get tackled into the surface, which I never want to do, but what works for him works for him, so he's going to be a tough match-up this weekend.
What do you do to beat them?
Look, we're going to look into them this afternoon. We're just finishing off all of our reviews from Richmond, and we'll have a look at them this arvo.
Just as a player, what's your perspective or personal views on bullying?
On booing, I saw a little bit of it. Franklin on the weekend, was it? Yeah, look, it's never nice to see, and when you're a player out there and you're getting booed, then it's never nice. And he's a 300-game champion getting booed for no reason. So it was a bit confusing, but it's going to happen. You're probably not going to be able to ever fully stamp it out, are you?
With what you've seen from the Suns so far, what do you guys think, without reviewing until this afternoon, what do you have to do to beat them?
Look, I think they're very good in the contest, so that's going to be the main thing. It's our focus week in, week out is to win the contest and get the ball in our front half. But, they've had a few good wins and they're up and about at the moment. I think they lost on the weekend, but lost by less than a kick to, arguably the best team in the competition. So it's going to be tough, but it's a Friday night game, so the boys will get up for that, and hopefully our fans can come out, support us, and fingers crossed we can do everything right and get 4 points.